Hello, hello. I think we are live. It's been a while. How is everybody? Quick hello. Let's get something up here so we're not just staring at a desk, huh? It was such a busy day. I'm not going to be on camera because it was a busy day and I'm a wreck. My hair's a wreck. And messy hair, don't care, still streaming. So I'm just happy to be here with all of you guys. Today I want to share with you what have I been up to. And I got some new supplies. Yes, new art supplies. Like I needed new art supplies. Come on. Who doesn't need new art supplies? First off, let me start with a really big happy birthday to Meeden. It is their 10th, the company's 10th anniversary. Can you believe that? They have been around for 10 years. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. But let me just share. They have sent me some new stuff. And of course, the paper. We all know that I do really enjoy the Meeden watercolor paper. It is 100% cotton. The price is great. It comes in a variety of formats, which I'm going to show you some of those today. Cold press, you've seen me work on this all the time. Hot press. I have this, but you haven't seen me work on it. But there's a reason that my rep at Meeden said that he was going to send me hot press. Because I was like, well, I use cold press and I would be really interested in using the rough as well. But I don't really use hot press often. He said, you know what? I'm going to send you some anyways because the other supply I'm sending you works really good on this paper. So we have some hot press paper we're going to be using. Again, cold press, because, you know, I usually use cold press. So that's mostly what they sent me. But I also have to share this. I don't know if you guys know that this is available, but if you have not tried the Meeden paper yet, I highly recommend order one of these. Now, I do have links in the description below, and we do have a discount code. As of right now, that code is Clark10. So capital CLARK10. And that'll get you a discount when you order directly from Meeden. I have had great experience ordering directly from Meeden. I have found that there's a very reasonable threshold for free shipping. And yeah, usually if I get a couple things of paper, I've met it. And so anyways, this is a great way to try it because it gives you 5 sheets of the rough, 15 sheets of cold press, and 10 sheets of hot press. And if we look at the side, obviously I haven't even unwrapped any of these yet, but you see those little lines in there? Those are going to be a colored sheet of paper. And that colored sheet of paper, that separates it, right? So the pink is hot press or red, whatever color you want to. Can you see it? Can you see it in there? It's like red. That is the hot press. As you see, hot press. It's gonna have a pink one. The rough is that. I think rough is blue, but the hot press actually has a green sheet that covers it usually. So that might actually be the cold press. But anyhow. You'll remove that little sheet of paper, use it for scrap, whatever, and then your paper, your actual cotton paper is underneath that, and it just protects the first sheet. So if you haven't tried their paper, this is a great way to try it and get like all the surfaces and try all the surfaces without getting a block of each. And these are blocks. They come glued on 4 sides. I was just looking to see, do I actually have a block here that is opened? I have not been. The studio is chaos. It is chaos right now, my friends. I have been on the go for months. It has been so busy. Okay, so this is the old branding on this one here, but same paper, and it's wonderful. So, do you remember doing this one? It's attached on all the sides. And now you'll notice it used to be green. Now it's clear. The glue is clear. So there's that. But you'll just have a spot where you can stick a little tool in there and separate the sheet and take that off. You guys have seen me do that many times. So yeah, the Meeden paper. We have a wonderful supply now to do all kinds of creating between now and the end of the year. I have lots planned. Hi, Dolphin Soul. Let me just take a moment because I'm seeing all of you that are popping back in the chat, and I have missed you so much. Hello, Bo Peep, the other Tara. Dolphin Soul is here. Of course, our moderators, The Art of Joseph Fincham and Tara Giblin should be here before long. The other Tara, of course, I believe I said that. Karen Clark. Hi, Karen. That is one of my painting buddies. And I think I've gotten everybody. So hello. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you could be here. The paper. Love the paper. We're going to try the hot press. And the reason we are going to try the hot press is because I noticed that this was upside down. There we go. Meeden sent me these. I'm really excited to try these. Now, I have lots of oil pastels. You guys haven't seen me use oil pastels. I don't think. Have I even done a video using oil pastels? I have used oil pastels, but I don't know that you've actually seen a video with me using oil pastels. But I do have a bunch of them. So if that's something you are interested in, definitely drop me a comment and let me know. Let's take a quick look at these. So there's 72 colors in here. Easy blending and layering is what they say. Breezy handling. This is what's here. It says soft. So these are not going to be, my lid is wanting to fall. Let me set that down. These are going to, well, they claim they're going to be on the softer side of oil pastels. How creamy and you know, are these going to be? I don't know. But there are 72 colors. And you can swatch them for yourselves on the back. And of course, they give you the sheet here. I think with oil pastels, most of the time, what you see is what you get, right? The color you see is the color you get. Do we need to swatch them all? That's up to you. First thing, opening this, and I had just taken the plastic off. The only thing on the plastic was the sticker says Made in China. I recently got together with the girls. We all got together over at Lindsay's and we were creating In the Room of Hoard. If you've been following me on Instagram, you have seen some of the things that I've been doing this summer. And I remember I told them, I was like, I have to bring these for you to smell them because when I smelled them, I don't know, they have like, there's this like undertone of Crayola from my childhood. Like, I'm not saying that these are the equivalent of Crayola anything. I'm saying that the smell that I am smelling, that like olfactory sense takes me back to like when you were a kid and you got that brand new set of 64, you know, with the sharpener on the back, and you pop the box open and you smell those. Yeah, that smell. Like, that's what I smell. I asked Karen and Lindsay and they were like, I'm not smelling it so much, but that is what I picked up. And it was like nostalgia for me, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. There is not a strong odor from these. Yeah, we need smell-o-vision, Dolphin Soul says. So basically, it was just kind of a nostalgia thing for me and I loved it. Let's talk about what I'm seeing here. First off, when I opened this, my first impression was like, what is this chaos of colors? I'm like, this started off beautiful, right? Look at how these like just beautifully go through. And then they're like, and these. Like, here's all these beautiful colors we're giving you. And these. It's just like, they're kind of like all wonky. The next time you see this set, these are probably going to be in a completely different order. They are in a number order. So that's how this actually makes sense. Yeah, but to me, I want to have them with like their values and their colors and stuff like that for pastels. And if you guys read the description for today's live stream. Has a new medium replaced watercolor as my favorite? Well, I'm going to share that with you in a moment. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about that. This is not that medium. This is not that medium. So yeah, something else. There was a little hint in my thumbnail of what it might be if you caught it. But these are like, look at that. I do believe they are soft. They make the claim that they are soft, and you just barely touch those and that color is coming up. So yeah, we're going to have to do a project with these. If that's something that you're excited about and you want to see some oil pastels, be patient with me. I am not an oil pastel artist, but I would be happy to pull them all out and see what we can do with these. I'm going to be like on the phone with Lindsay, like, hey, give me some pointers. What am I going to do with these things? Or maybe we'll just have to have a get together over there in the room of Hoard, and it'll be like an oil pastel day. If you guys saw, again, on Instagram, we shared, hi, Shanna. Shanna's here too. Shanna joined us that day. Karen, Lindsay, and I were in the room of Hoard, and we were all working with the same medium. And it was so much fun because we all worked in the same medium, but we all did completely different things. They each got to complete, like, I think 2 pieces of art to my 1, which is no big surprise there. But, and I did share that. So again, if you're following me on Instagram, it's the only place that I'm not at Clark Fine Art. I am at Clark_Fine Art over on Instagram. So, yeah, I posted that when all of that happened. And, so yeah, okay. So Karen, I'm going to share that in just a moment. So let's get into, I'll come back to these. If you guys are wanting to see more of this, please let me know, because this is just like a, hey, this is what Meeden sent me. I want to unbox these things, but I would love to give these their own video and their own time. So to really be fair. Now, full disclosure, like I said, Meeden sent me these items. I love working with them. I love working with the company. And is that going to bias me to these? I mean, I guess that's for all of you to decide. However, let me just put it out there that if I don't like something, I don't have a problem saying I don't like it. It's not for me, because you know what? Every supply is not going to be for every artist, and that's okay. So let me find what I did with the cover to those. Those are the oil pastels. I can't wait to use these. And I just messaged my contact at Meeden, because there is a 48 set. The 48 set of these comes with 4 extra white pastels. Now the 72 set doesn't, it just has 1. However, Meeden has come out with another box where you can get just the white. So you can still get extra whites if you get the big 72 set. I just asked him if it's possible to get one of those so that I can share that with you as well. Again, I want to give these their own time. If this is something you want to see more of, and I have a bunch of oil pastels. I have Mungio oil pastels. I have Paul Rubens oil pastels. I have the Meeden oil pastels. I think I have more than that. It's probably absurd, but you know, I need to clean this studio out and figure out exactly what I have. It was on my list to do this summer, but I just got too busy being out of the studio that nothing in the studio got done. So that's what's new from Meeden. This summer, so much has gone on. Oh no, that's not all that's new from Meeden. I gotta pump the brakes. They also sent me these, and I am so excited to share these with you guys, because if you remember, I still have them sitting right here on my desk. We used these when I was curating like my own art box of supplies that you could get. I think I want to do some more of those. Those were fun. So these were brushes that I put in there, and these were their watercolor brushes. These were their watercolor brushes. They still have them available. I have not had any issues with these. They're very lightweight. The ferrules have not come loose on them, which is a huge plus for me. The points have not really worn down. You got a pretty good variety of sizes, although they weren't numbered, but you know, it's fine. If you look at that, like that's a size 10 and that's a size, it's about a 10 to a 12, the largest size that came in that set for rounds. So yeah, these were the ones I had. These they just sent me now. Dolphin Soul says, yep, love those brushes and your curated sets. Yeah. So these are supposed to be more like a professional line for them. And I have a brush here that we're going to kind of compare this to, which I absolutely would say is a professional line. These, and I took the plastic off the outside so we wouldn't have to do that here today and make all that noise. This is how they come in the box. And I am loving it. Now, let me just say this. My first impression when I opened these is I was like, okay, so this is 9. There are 9 brushes that they offer total. And I thought, well, they go in number size from, let's see if we can sort them out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So they go like this. I know they're hard to see right now. I'm going to take them out of these tubes. But let's just talk about the tubes for a moment. Not only did they put them in the little tubes, and some might say it's excessive with the plastic. However, they are really protecting these brushes. Nothing peeves me more, we'll say that, than getting a brush in and it has the, you know, the sleeve that's open-ended like these, right, on over the brush, and maybe that tip ended up sticking out, and then you get it and it's bent over, and now you have to hope that you can use some hot water and revive that tip back to its original beauty and point, or go through the process of doing a return and getting a replacement. This actually, you see the tape here, this actually was a brush that happened to. You see how it's tipped? Now some of that is me painting with this brush, but they sent me a replacement for this. This was a Princeton Velvet Touch. I did get a replacement for it, but it was like, you know, it was such a hassle when that comes in. So yeah, there's extra plastic on these, but guys, look at the way, if we can get these open, you can reuse these tubes for something else, I'm sure. I wouldn't put this part, now this is closed. That's not open like these are. Like these are open. No, these are closed. So there's that. Look at the points on those. They're like quill brushes. You could put them back in here, right? But the only thing is if you did that for like travel, you'd want to make sure they stayed upright, because now there is no closed top cover on them unless you wanted to go through replacing that, which you want to be very careful, because right now, like, I haven't washed any of that sizing out of there. I could put that back on there, but once you've used these brushes and washed all that out, that's not going to be so easy to do. So the one looks like it might be a little wonky. I'm looking at the shape. It looks like it might have a little like bend to it. These are a wood handle. It looks like a natural wood, but it does look like it has some, feels like it has some finish to it. This plastic, that is not something you remove. That is your ferrule on this brush. And it has the aluminum bands. I actually saved someone from damaging their brush. If you remove that, you will ruin your brush, because they were like, it wasn't unwrapping. They couldn't get their brush to unwrap. And it was one that actually came shipped with a piece of plastic over this. So they were removing that plastic and thought they had to remove this plastic. And yeah, no, that's not the case. Don't remove this. You'll ruin your brushes. So my first impression with these was, let me just throw all of these back in the box as we go. Okay, so we're going to quickly take these out. Get in there. And yeah, we could reuse these tubes for something else, I'm sure. We're artists, we're creative. Thank you. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this. If you want to know what could I possibly like, could it possibly replace watercolor for me as my first love for a medium? I don't know. I don't know. We're going to talk about it in just a few minutes. Hit that thumbs up if you want to know. Okay. Do you see what I'm seeing here? First of all, let's just look at the smaller sizes. These are very similar, right? Look at the 1 and 2. The difference between the 1 and 2, there's not a lot of difference there between the 1 and 2. If you got a set like this, and this is what I'm probably going to do, is I believe that I will take, say, my odd numbered ones, and those could become travel brushes. Like I could take those with me. Or actually, let's be more realistic. I have plenty of travel brushes in my art bag. They'll go to my art desk downstairs, and I will put like my even numbered brushes up here. And then I have, or vice versa, it'll probably be vice versa because I'd have more up here where I do more of my work and fewer down there. How gorgeous are those? They're beautiful. And the weight to them, these do not feel like a flimsy brush. They are synthetic. So for those of you who are very conscious about what your brushes are made out of, they are synthetic. They are a synthetic squirrel. And that brings me to what I want to look at as kind of a comparison brush, right? They're claiming that these are like a professional brush and that they're a synthetic squirrel. We have another company that makes a synthetic squirrel. That is Princeton, right? The Neptunes. This is a quill, much like this, and it is a synthetic squirrel. So how is this going to compare to this, right? If we look at that, now this is a size 6 on the Princeton Neptune, and this is a 7 on the Meeden. The handle of the brush is a bit more chunky, but the way it's chunky, it just fits so nice in your hand. I really like that. The way that it is balanced, it feels really good. It does feel really good in the hand. That is going to need to get washed out. But look at those. Look at that. Do you see that point? This, of course, there's no sizing in this Neptune. And I would have to wet it. Let's just get that wet for a second, just to compare. Okay, so we get a point that comes back, but not a point like that thing. That's very interesting. I like that. I'm going to try to rinse out some of this sizing. How does the 6 to the 6, right? The Meeden 6 is smaller than the Princeton 6. There's no standard in sizing for brushes. But the 7 and the 6, those are pretty much spot on. So I'm just going to wash the sizing out of this one, and so that I can have a look at that. And that's cleaning pretty easy. Cleaned out. Oh my gosh, my Meeden water, my brush bowl that holds my bowl that holds my water for my brushes. It looks really dirty. That was like all the water evaporated since I've been in the studio working, and yeah, I didn't have time. I just put the fresh water on top. It hasn't released from the sides yet. It needs a scrubbing. Okay, look at those. Look at that point. We're going to compare those two. I'm not going to wet all of these. If you want to see something specific, like maybe we will do one of the smaller ones. We'll look at the detail we can get with, say, a 1. I'm just going to put these aside for now. I'll rinse that one out as well. It loosens up and comes out very easily. I will say that. Like, I've had brushes that you kind of have to let it soak and kind of fight it to get that sizing out of them. That came out really easy. All right. We will. And now I need watercolor paper. My studio is so chaos right now. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. This will work. It is not a paper that I like to watercolor on. But we just want to compare our brushes here. So I'm just going to grab a piece of this Strathmore Vision paper. And who knows, maybe I would love to work with the oil pastels on this paper. Has anybody used it for that? Let me know if you have. If you've used the Strathmore Vision watercolor paper, do you love it? Do you like to use it for something other than watercolor? Okay, you know what we need now? We need some watercolor paint. Oh my goodness. It is a hot mess. I have not been in here in some time. All right, I'm grabbing my Michael Harding palette because that was the first one I saw. They're not linked in the description below. All right, so first off, these are a synthetic squirrel. So one of the things I would expect from a synthetic squirrel, right, like our Neptunes, like see when we use them, like look at how that, like it just kind of stays. This isn't like a Kolinsky. A brush that's supposed to mimic like a Kolinsky sable is going to have more snap. It's going to pop right back. If I were to, right, if I were to show you my Velvet Touch, right, it's popping right back. It is popping back. Look at the snap. It's not staying. It's not taking a left turn and kind of staying there. So these are squirrel, I would expect, and see they do. They kind of lean and they kind of stay that direction. They don't pop right back. So it's a softer brush. If you don't like a Princeton Neptune, you probably wouldn't care for this one because, again, we're trying to compare apples to apples here, right? These are both a squirrel, which is a softer brush. This feels like it's going to hold a lot of water. I don't even know. I think this was just a color. Yeah, this is just something I had mixed up from past use. I have no idea what it is, but that's what we're going to use. All right. All right, let's see. Now, one of the things I want to see is when I touch this to the page, does it flood out of the brush onto my paper? Because that drives me crazy. I don't like when I first touch my paper. Look at that. It didn't. I've had other brushes before that are like a more affordable brush, if you would, that as soon as you touch, it just floods the paper. And as you lift up, it floods the paper. So you get this like, almost like a puddle like that at the beginning. And then as you come to the end, before you lift up, you get this like extra puddle here too. That didn't do that. So I'm really impressed with that. Let's just, my hands are going to shake. It's been a while since, you'll find out why when we talk about this other medium. It's been a while since I've been really using paintbrush. Look at that. It is just still going. Now, I could have put down a much bigger line. I'm sure it would have used up that pigment a lot faster. But it is not even skipping yet. I'm very impressed. And we're getting a little bit of the color being left as I lift off. You see how it's darker right there? So we're getting a little bit of that, but not a lot. I have a feeling this would give me a nice, beautiful, even wash. Yeah, you guys are probably going to see these a lot more. It's just still going. And let's look at, like, with this 7, I can come in, big old bold stroke, and lift off. We could do some leaves that way. And again, it's still going. This, I could probably fill this page with this. Okay, it just started skipping right there. I have these spots where, you know, can you see that? You're seeing the white of the paper coming through. So it just right there started skipping. That's a lot of paint. I mean, that could really, and the point, like I can even thinner, if I do a nice light touch, I can get even thinner lines with that. And it's still going. We haven't grabbed any more paint. I really am liking that. All right, I'm going to rinse that one out. And I just rinsed it in my water, and now, like, all my water. Well, it's hard to tell because the camera, I can see it from an angle, and it's very red now. Whereas you guys looking straight down, you're seeing what dried in the bottom, and that's really dark. So, yeah, there was still a lot of paint in that brush. If I look at the Neptune... Okay, so same thing. Let's just like load up with paint. I'm gonna bring some of this over to make sure I give it the opportunity to collect as much paint as I did the Meeden brush. All right. Again, let's see if I can maybe get it in between. See, I can get a similar line. My hands are shaking. I'm going to try to go quickly, so my hands are going to probably shake more. I have a bead of water on, I'm going to wipe it. There's a bead of water on the plastic. I'm just going to wipe that off so it doesn't fall in and mess up what I'm trying to achieve here, which is I want to see where does my Neptune stop feeding me color, start skipping on the page. I actually almost just saw a little bit of that skipping right there. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of the skipping in the color here. So again, some of that could be, you know, operator, artist error, right? I could have not got as much on this brush as I did the Meeden brush. However, my point is, I would absolutely think of this as a professional watercolor brush. And I think that this just held its own with that in this test. They also say no shedding, and we just rinsed that out and went right down on our paper and started working, and there were no hairs there at all. Nothing shed from this brush. So there is that. Let's look at this let's look at this number 1. This is the 1, yeah. So this is the tiniest, number 1. And actually, you know what? Let's go with a different color. What is this? This is, okay, another color that I've mixed because there's no label here. So most likely, this is me making like a Payne's gray with my burnt sienna. Yeah, my burnt sienna and ultramarine blue that's in here. This and this is what I mixed here. So this is the number 1. First off, I just want to see. All right, and I'm going to do them by this. So look at that. You see the size strokes that I'm getting with the point of this one? I got a lot of that same size with this 7. That point is beautiful. If I have a nice light touch, I can achieve that, which means I can do a lot without switching brushes. All right, let's do the, how much paint is this one gonna hold? It's getting lighter. But still, that's a lot of line without reloading for a size 1. At no point did it flood. It, not even here on the end. If you look at where I lift it off, these, you can see a few where it did that. Not even here. All right, it started skipping right there. So I'm going to stop. I mean, I could probably still, you know, I could get some, but it's really starting to skip here, and we're running out of pigment. But I'm impressed. I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely impressed. First impression with these brushes. I absolutely, you're going to be seeing me use these a lot more, I have a feeling, because they're very smooth. They're nice to hold in your hand. Like the Velvet Touch, has like a texture to it. If you have a Velvet Touch, then you know what I'm talking about. They're smooth, but there's like this texture to them. These aren't like that. They are very smooth, but there's none of that texture. I don't know. I'm very tactile, and that is almost like I don't know. But these don't have that at all. If you have a Princeton Neptune, the handles feel like, if you close your eyes and just touch both of them, the way the surface feels is the same. So if you have a Princeton Neptune, that's how the finish is on these. I'm very impressed with that. I am really looking forward to doing some painting with those. And yeah, definitely. I think I definitely would say I recommend that. Okay, so that's what Meeden has out that's new. They did send me something else, however. I'm really excited about it too, but it got damaged in shipping. So I just heard back from my rep today. They are sending me out a replacement. So again, that's going to have its own video when that gets here. I have something really special in mind for it, so I'm really looking forward to that. But let's talk about what I've done this summer. I have taken advantage of like almost every opportunity I could to get out and do some plein air painting. The girls and I have gone out and painted a few times. We did the Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens plein air days again this year, the 4 of us. So if you guys are, I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching regularly knows that I'm talking about Shanna from Caution Artists at Play, who is here in the chat, and Karen from Karen Clark Creations, also here in the chat with us, and Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, who was live streaming. In fact, I had just switched over. A few of us had just switched over. I don't know if she is done yet or not, but if you missed that, she had some breaking news today, and oh my gosh, I took them out to show you. Now I can't find what I did with them. I'm like, it's clutter blindness right now. I need to get through this studio. The Derwent drawing pencils. Derwent just expanded their line to 72 colors in this range. They're gorgeous. If you want to see that, if you haven't seen it yet, if you missed Lindsay's live stream, go watch the replay after we're done and check that out, because not only did she swatch them all for you to show you all the colors, she also created some artwork with them. So yeah, definitely, if you haven't seen it, check that out. 72 colors. They're going to be available. Lindsay said October 1st. The Derwent website and Blick should have them. Right now, Blick has these on sale. I didn't link this in the description. I can if somebody is wanting that information, but Blick has the Derwent Drawing Original 24 set on sale right now. So the 24, these 24 are going to be in that 72. So if you want to wait till the new ones come out and get all of them. But the other thing that I really appreciate, because looking at you, Karen Dosh, unlike them, Derwent releasing the new colors here, these are going to be available open stock. So if, like me, you have the 24 set already, you could open stock, add the new 48 colors and not purchase duplicate colors. So I absolutely appreciate that. Will they have a 48 set with just the new colors? Nobody knows that yet. Not sure of that information, but yeah, so that's what we were all doing before we got here. And so Dolphin Soul asked, how different are they from Derwent Lightfast? Let me tell you, these, not only are these and the new colors Lightfast, these are all Lightfast. The new colors are Lightfast, according to what Lindsay was just sharing. The difference, your Derwent, Lindsay explained it, Lindsay put it very well. The Derwent Lightfast pencils are a lot more vibrant as far as the colors, and these are much more muted, earthy tones. So they definitely have their place. I don't feel like this is like, it doesn't feel like a cash grab, right? They weren't just throwing out new pencils for the sake of throwing out new pencils. A lot of thought went into that, and they expanded the range to 72 colors, but they kept with, like, that's what these original ones were, right? Look at these colors. They're all muted colors. These are all, like, if I was going to go out plein air painting, these would be wonderful for that, because, I mean, I don't know that I want to sit there for that length of time and do a colored pencil piece plein air, but you could. They're very earthy, and they stuck with that. They didn't just throw colors at the line to make the line bigger. So I really appreciate that. I think when Derwent does it, they put some thought into it and they do it well. So these are definitely, they're different. They are different from the Lightfast range in that they're beautiful, muted, earthy colors, where the Lightfast range is more vibrant. And yeah, so there's those. That was one of the big things in the art world that just recently happened. Now, over the summer, let's go way in the Wayback Machine. On one of the outings that we had, Lou and I had, we went to an antique mall here in Maine, and I found this little treasure. This is the metal box. These are from 1930, and check this out. Some of them don't even look like they were used. Like, some of these colors don't look like a brush has ever even touched them. I don't know why somebody didn't like that color. It's beautiful. But yeah, these are some watercolors from the 1930s. They set down this, like, this is metal. So what divides these? That's not plastic. It is metal. I'm assuming that, like, originally it came with, like, a little paintbrush because there's a spot for one there. Am I going to paint with these? I mean, if you guys want to see it, I will absolutely, like, we can dive into these and see what do these colors from 1930 look like. Yeah, Dolphin Soul, 1930. So you're not, there is no link in the description below. You're not getting these. You might find some on eBay or something like that. It's Copycat and Copycat Paint Box. 12, yeah, see, 12 mixing pans and brush, 32 colors. It does have like the AP seal on it here. This tin is in like amazing condition for I remember I sent a picture when I saw this. We have a group chat, the 4 girls, Shanna, Karen, Lindsay, and I sent a picture to the group chat, and I remember Lindsay responded. She was like, "You better be getting that," because it was like for the condition of the box, and even if I was just going to resell it, like it's in such great condition, but I don't think I could resell it. Lou was like, "Oh, you could resell that for how much?" And I was like, "Look, you know I'm not going to. It's going to be part of my vintage art supply collection, and yeah, it's not going anywhere." So that said, if you guys want to see this at some point, I think that would be fun. Like, let's watch my watercolors from 1930 and see how they are. I would love to do it, but I had to share that with you guys. That was one of my adventures that I got this summer. So yeah, there was that. And then I didn't bring it upstairs because it's huge. It is on my big newsprint block. Lindsay said, "Hey, there is a figure drawing class. Who wants to go?" And we were like, yes. So we went. Lindsay, Karen, and I went. It was a little too far for Shannon to be able to come up and join us, but we went. And Lindsay had encouraged me to try some Conte sticks, which I've shared that with you guys. And I got the small set. I'm leaning in my bag. Oh my gosh, this thing weighs a ton. So I'm like looking, this is going to be really close. This is like my travel bag, right? My backpack. Look, it's like, I'm too zoomed in for you to even see it on the screen. It is like, it's so loaded with stuff. It is loaded with all kinds of new things now. You guys will have to let me know. You want to see that? How my art bag has changed over the summer. But I got a big set. I can't remember if I showed you guys before summer and I kind of had taken the break or not, but I got this set. I didn't list these in the description, but I can. So I got this set of 50 Conte sticks because when I went to the figure drawing class, I just had these. It's a little sketch set and I loved them. And I was like, oh, I need to do this. I need to use these some more. But I wanted colors. So I decided I was going to get these, and then I took them with me. This is also, if you guys remember, when I went and did my vintage art supplies, which was one of the last videos I had shared, I got some from Derwent. I still want to compare these. You guys said that was something you wanted to see, to compare the old Derwent pastel sticks to the Conte sticks. So yes, we can do that. That is on my list of things to check out. But I had these, and I decided one day I was going to take them out when I went plein air. And I had met up with Karen, and we went to a place called Tidal Falls here in Maine. And beautiful location. I had never been before. She had. Let me put my bag down. I'm going to share with you. I posted it. I have posted it. I think I've even shared it on the Discord. So if you are a patron or channel member, you have access to Discord. I'm looking for places to stack my supplies here. As long as we don't hear any crashes, we're all set. But if you are a channel member or patron, you have access to Discord. And I do share a lot in there. I have been sharing the whole time while I've been on break, and I have my live chats on Friday mornings. But I went with Karen to Tidal Falls, and she had, I think it was open acrylics that day, and both of us, it was like a new medium, right? And so we decided, you know what, we're going to use our new mediums, and we're just going to have fun and see what we can do. So this is the piece that I did at Tidal Falls. I had so much fun. And I don't know why they call it tidal falls. It's not actually a falls. It's like rapids. And the rapids go one way, and then when the tide changes, they turn and they go the other way. So this is reversing falls right here. And I did these, and I was like, I had so much fun that day. It was like somebody flipped a switch, and I got so excited about not only what I was creating, but what I was creating with. And yeah, there's Karen. Okay, I don't know why my chat jumped, and so we have Dolphin Soul who's putting those drawing pencils in her cart. So yeah, this was so much fun. And this was done on I did it on this right here, which is the Strathmore Tone Blue Mixed Media paper. I loved it on this paper. I enjoyed working with that. I didn't have issues. And after doing the water, there's just a way that you work in pastel medium, the pastel medium, that it's so different from watercolor. And I was like, something just clicked. I mean, I just got so excited. So then I was like, I need to do more of this. So mind you, I'm only working with Conte sticks. At this point, like, I am only working with Conte sticks. That's all that was on here. My history, let me just give you my history with pastels. I've done 2 pieces. They were both birds. I have a toucan and I have Tuca, who is my son Conyer. They were done with pan pastel and some pastel pencils, because I do have some pastel pencils, Derwent and Carbothello. And I did those pieces with that. But I had never used sticks. I was always like, oh, I don't want my fingers to get the chalky and the dust and all the stuff, right? It's a texture thing. Yeah. Okay. So when Lindsay was like, oh, you should check out the Conte sticks, because they don't have that feeling. And she's right. They don't. And I think I've shared that with you guys before. Like, they are harder. Like, they're a very hard pastel. And when you pick them up, yes, you can get a little bit on your fingers, but just by touching them, see, I'm not like covered in this pastel. So I was like, I have to try that. And that's what got me started. So thank you, Lindsay, my enabler. And after that piece, I had another trip. Lou and I actually went. He wanted to go fishing, and I was like, yeah, great. I want to bring my art supplies and paint. So I brought this Strathmore Toned Gray Mixed Media. Now, I had just used the toned blue, which to me looks green. Does that like look that way to anybody else? Like, if you have this paper and you see it in person, to me, it just looks like it's green, but they call it toned blue. So I was like, I have a Strathmore book that is toned gray mixed media. I'm going to bring that with me. I fought it every step of the way. I did not like this for using the Conte sticks on, but I did like the piece. I mean, I fought it right to the end, and that's what I created with that piece. We were at Moosehead Lake, which is the largest lake in the state of Maine. And this is the railroad truss that goes over where the lake kind of lets out and starts to flow out of the lake. So that's where I was, and there were ducks, and Lou was actually over there fishing. So I like stuck him in my painting. I was like, yep, that was him standing over there fishing, not catching a whole lot, but he was trying. That day they just were like, nope. But I did this piece, and like I said, I kind of fought this paper like every step of the way with getting it to take the Conte sticks and to be able to layer it the way that I wanted to, and it was like, it just wasn't working. Not the way that toned blue was working. This one just worked so much better. I liked it. Not so much. So I probably won't use this for pastel stuff going forward, unless I need to look and see if I have some Liquitex clear gesso. And if I do, then I might prepare a few pages and then try it again. And I just taped a piece of glassine in here to kind of protect the work, because this is really staying in the book. I could cut it out if I wanted to, but you know, for now it's in there and I'm fine with that. I think I don't mind putting the glassine over and like storing them like that, because you know, it holds all those pieces of artwork. Okay. So that stuff happened. I went to, we did the weekend at the Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. And while we were there afterwards, like Lou and I stayed down there for the weekend. That's down in Booth Bay Harbor. And I decided we were going to do a little getaway. And we stayed for the weekend. And while we were there, I happened to go into one of the art galleries and I was blown away. So artist Jeannie Roger Smith. She's on Instagram. I absolutely recommend look her up if you don't know who she is. She does seascapes. She does actually, you might as well call them wave portraits. And thanks, Boo Peep. She says, you still won the fight. It's gorgeous. Thank you. So, oh, and I missed your question. Do the colors blend at all? If you're talking about the, were you asking about the Conte sticks? If so, yes, they do blend, because on some of that, like on this, actually, I think on both of them, I couldn't get a green, exact green that I wanted. So I kind of layered in to make the green that I wanted, especially like in here and on the other piece as well. So yeah, if you were talking about that, they do. Dolphin, so I'm going to come right back to your question in just a moment. So I went into this art gallery and I was looking at, first I was just walking by and the door was open. And as Lou and I are walking by and I kind of look in, right? We're on a stroll. We're walking down the street and I look in this open door to this art gallery. And on the wall at the back, this wave, this gorgeous wave catches my eye. And now I'm like, pump the brakes. I told Lou, I was like, I'm going in here for a minute. Like he could come with me or he could continue on, but I was going in that gallery. And I walked in there and I just saw the most beautiful wave portrait. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a wave portrait. She captured this wave and it was gorgeous. And I found that Lou came back looking for me because I was standing there staring at it for some time. And I'm looking for what I did with the thing I'm going to show you next. Okay, so I am looking at this and then I realize, oh my God, she painted that in pastels. And I'm not talking oil pastels. She painted that in soft pastels. And the light that was coming through. Now, you know, I know there was great lighting in the gallery. I was in a gallery. But that wasn't it. There was this light coming from, and I remember I was talking to the ladies at the gallery. I just stood there in awe of these paintings that she had done for a while, and I was just really appreciating it. And they told me, hey, she's going to be back. She's going to be here in August to do a demo. So you guys know, I was watching. They were like, oh, we put it out on our Instagram, so you'll just have to keep an eye out for it. Like, they couldn't tell me when she was going to be there, just that she was coming. I stalked that Instagram to find out when she was going to be coming. And I went in August. And oh my goodness, I watched her work. And now, mind you, I already had, again, I have to thank Lindsay. Lindsay is like definitely my enabler. These went on sale a long time ago. Okay, this is the Paris collection, Sennelier. Let me show you these beauties. I got these. Lindsay caught a deal. And, oh, it's not want to focus. There we go. Lindsay caught a deal on these and shared it. And I was like, yeah, it was like $113 or something at the time. And I was like, I'm getting them. I don't know that I'm going to, at this point, when I bought these, I had done my 2 pieces in pan pastel and pastel pencils, which I loved how they turned out. Those are both hanging on my wall here in the studio. So I can show them to you perhaps at another time. I don't want to have to try to go take them down right now. But I did both of those. If you're on Discord, I'll drop pictures of them over there on Discord, or maybe in the community tab here, because we can do that now, right? We can share pictures in the community tab. So I'll try to remember to do that after and share those with you guys. But when I had done those pieces, I really liked the way they turned out. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should give pastels more of a go. So I was already kind of leaning that way. Then Lindsay goes, oh, hey, guess what? The Paris set is on sale and this is an amazing price. And guys, it was. That is an amazing price. If it went on sale for that price again, I would buy a second set. Just because, yeah, I can't believe what we actually got them for. But these are definitely soft pastels. These are like, yeah, you touch them, they're getting on your hands. And I really was like, I don't think I'm going to like that. I got over that stuff real quick. I censor myself there for YouTube. I got over that real quick. So these here right now are my softest soft pastels. I have some Mungio that are like a medium pastel. I'm looking into getting another one that's kind of like a medium range, maybe some Richardson or some of the Mungio hand rolled. I haven't quite decided on that yet. If you guys use pastels, let me know. Please help me in this journey. Let me know what is your favorite brand of soft pastels to work with. So you can see here on the box, like, there's all the colors. And I was concerned that maybe these don't have enough darks for what I am wanting to do. But there are quite a few darks. I need to take these out and reorganize them so that I have them by like my warm greens, my cool greens, and then have them from their values from light to dark. I need to get these all kind of reorganized. I'm going to be doing that soon. So I started talking, I was telling Lindsay that I had, I had the Conte sticks, which those are a hard pastel. I have the Paris collection, which that is a beautiful set of soft pastels. And I have, I have the Mungio, which is kind of like a, I will show you what I'm talking about. I did bring my bag up here. So I have a set of and these are not linked in the description, but I certainly can. I don't even think I remember to link the Sennelier, but I will because those are gorgeous. So these are the Mungio. These are just like the square ones, right? I got a bigger set of these coming actually, because this is the 48. I haven't used these yet. These are actually a gift for somebody else. But I have a set of like the 60 something that are coming. But I also am considering, or I was considering, I guess still am, the hand rolled ones. And, I was talking to Lindsay, and she said, well, you actually have a really good start there. So basically, like, her recommendation to me was try to use what you have, which I love that. And then see what you're missing, right? As I'm creating, what do I feel like I'm missing? So Lindsay gets a hold of us. Gosh, has that been two weeks or more now? And she was like, hey, it was a rainy Friday. And she was like, want to get together in the room of Horde and I'll get out all my pastels and you can try out all the different things. And I was like, yes. So we did. That was, Shanna joined us via video. Karen and I were there in person. And this, I have to like really go back to the beginning here. I'm looking for it. This one. Karen was referring to this piece when she made that comment. it was, yeah, I would love to do an oil pastel day as well. And Shanna said she agreed. So, I mean, I was working with this and I was like, oh, hey guys, check it out. And then I'd be like, oh, hey, look at this. And then they can't see what I'm doing on my easel because my easel is kind of facing away. And, you know, sometimes I'd go and I'd hold it up to the camera to show Shanna. And so anyhow, we had so much fun that day. And it absolutely was. And her to share that with us and let us all come and use it. I'm like, I need another pastel day. I so do. What are you doing tomorrow, Lindsay? No, anyways. So I was, working this, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, and Karen was like, oh no, what? Like, thought I had ruined something. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it's like, I all of a sudden I saw it, and it just like came to life, and it was going in the direction I wanted it to. And I was so thrilled. And this is a wave that I took when the hurricane was off the coast of the US. The East Coast, we didn't get the weather, but we did get the waves. And Lou and I went chasing some waves. I had a family reunion, and I had to go. It wasn't in Maine, so I had to travel for that. It was still in New England, but it wasn't in Maine. And then I told Lou, I was like, you know what? While we're gone, we're making a weekend of it. We're going to go chase some waves. I need some reference photos. I got so much video. I have to process this and get us some reference photos. But if you guys like to do waves, so this was my very first one in pastels. And I have attempted waves and acrylics. I have attempted waves and watercolor. You guys have seen me do them multiple times, but never do I think I have achieved what I did when I did them in pastels. I was so thrilled with this medium. I loved this medium. It was like every time I use it, I just fall in love a little bit more. So this was a wave that I actually captured, and there are things I look at it that I go, oh, you know what, I tweaked this and I shouldn't have, I should have gone back and whatever, done something differently, or there's things that I see that I'm like, it's a little off, but you know what, I don't even care. I love this. I'm like, this is my first one that I feel was a success with doing waves, and knowing that it can only get better from here. I am super excited. I'm really excited to share more of this. I'm excited to share more of this with you guys. I will bring it up close so you can like really get in there and see. Jeannie Roger-Smith, seeing her demo, it just light bulb. Like the light bulb went off. I completely saw a whole new way of working, and I can't thank her enough for doing that demo. I have thanked her. I have shared with her. I shared this. I tagged her when I did this and posted it on Instagram, and I loved it. Now, it is nowhere near Jeannie's many years of capturing a wave and bringing the light into that, but I was so thrilled with this. So I had put it out on Discord and asked, is seeing me work in pastel something you guys are interested in? And patrons said yes, they are. But I'm putting it out to all of you seeing the channel that maybe you're not on Discord. Is seeing this process, how I got here, and watching this journey to see where can I take this, where can I take myself with this medium. If that's something you're interested in, please drop me a comment. If you're watching on the replay, please add a comment and let me know. Are you interested in this? Because, this summer, I'm going to get to the Spectrafix question, Dolphin Soul. I haven't forgotten about that. This is where I needed to talk about that. But we lost a family member that was really close to us at the end of last year. And that was kind of hard. And then this year I was like, you know what? There's a reason that I was absent from YouTube quite a bit, was that I had made the decision that we were going to seize the summer. Our summers are so short in Maine, and we've spent the last pretty much 2 summers helping the family member that we knew, he had cancer, and we knew where that was headed. And so Lou and I didn't go do a lot of things that were like for us. We did a lot of things that were for our family and in support of our family, and we don't regret that at all. And we are so thankful for the time that we had. But this summer I was like, you know what? We're going to seize the summer, and we are going to do, and we are going to say yes, and we are going to go. And we took many trips, and actually it was really hard on my body. My fiber really this past month kicked in, because if you guys have been following along, we went to New Hampshire, or we went to Mass, we went wave chasing, we traveled all the way down to North Carolina to see family, and then we stopped in Virginia to see very dear friends of ours that we haven't seen since we left that area and moved back home to New England. And yeah, we did. We seized the summer, and then we came back, and the beginning of September, we took his mom away for another weekend. We went and spent more time. We were Belfast, down on the coast, and we stayed for the weekend at a lake, and it was so exhausting for my body, and it was so amazing for my soul. So that's what we've been doing. That's why I've been away. That, and there's been a few health things, but nothing that I'm not dealing with in a positive way. So I don't see any long-term negative things there, but regardless, that's where I've been. But I've been doing a lot of self-discovery in my art too, because this summer has been about a lot of creating art for me, not creating content for YouTube, and not creating content for social media. And I think I really needed that after the end of last year. And so I am super thrilled, though, to come back now, because I have so much stuff that I want to share with you. And that's what today was about, was kind of updating you, showing you the new stuff that Meeden sent, my new love, because I think you can see why this is my new love. Yeah, and to find out, how interested are you guys in seeing this journey? Because I prominently have always been watercolor on the channel. Well, that's not true. I started with acrylics, and I kind of shifted into watercolor, and I stayed there. I am not moving away from watercolor. I love watercolor. I would still do that. And oh, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing these pastels to do this with. Yeah, this was just such a good day too. Like I said, each of the girls, I think they each got like 2 paintings in. I only got this one, but I think you can see why I only got this one. It is a 9 by 12. This is a piece of UArt 400. I use the pH neutral adhesive by Line Co, and I attached it to a foam core board. This was I learned that this is not my favorite, and it's a little curved, but it is rigid. I still think I could pop this into a frame. I am going to frame this because it's my first piece, and I'm proud of that. And I want to have this to look back on years from now and go, oh my God, guys, can you believe that was like, that's where I started. I mean, really, with pastel, this is my starting point. It can only get better from here. I am super thrilled. I can't wait to play with these. Oh yeah, we'll see. Yes, see, I have fibromyalgia too. It is not fun. It is absolutely not fun. Thank you so much. This was so much fun to do. The techniques that I learned over the summer and that I used in this piece, I'm really excited to share that with you because it helped me work in pastels in a way that I was just like, wow. And oh, guys, by the way, the texture of the pastels on my hands and all the nasty colors and such. We were out, Lou and I were out, and there was like this big community yard sale. And I was like, oh, hey, we need to stop there. And then I found these like aprons that were little half aprons, like what a waitress would wear. And there was like, I think it was like a dozen of them in the box. And I was like, yep, I'm going to buy the box. And Lou's like, you want the whole box? I was like, yep, I can give one to each of the girls. I still have a whole bunch. I'm going to be making a mess because that was after I had started playing with pastels before this piece, but after I had started playing with pastels. So I had brought Lindsay and Karen. I haven't seen Shanna yet in person, but one that day when we were doing this. And I was like, you know what? It didn't even bother me. If it got to be too much, like I would wipe it on my, I take a paper towel and stick it in the pocket of my apron and it hangs over. And I kind of wipe my hands off on that. And then of course, wipes, right? Like I have had wipes available. So if I needed to really clean off, because maybe if I was switching between a green and a blue, I didn't want to risk getting anything on it or whatever, I could do that. They did not bother me. Like I don't feel the need to put gloves on. I can't put gloves on no. I have to feel it. I don't want gloves between me and what I'm working with. And that's just me. And if you need to wear them, then you wear them, right? We're all different. But my point is, I thought I was not going to be able to use soft pastels because I wouldn't be able to get past the texture, that chalky, powdery all over my hands. Because there are certain things like, yeah, Lou laughs, but like the paper on a popsicle, I can't touch that paper wrapper. And I'll be like, can you open this? I'll literally be like, I'll be bringing it over by like a little corner. And I'm like, can you open this for me? You know, because I don't want to touch it. And the wood of a popsicle stick, like, that, like, I can't touch that on my tongue. There's just certain things. All right. And that's a little weird about, but anyhow, I thought soft pastels were going to be like that. And it's so not. So I did not record this. None of us were recording that day. We were just creating to create and enjoy the company and have fun and let go and try something new. And I highly recommend it. Highly recommend. So not a stupid question at all. That's a very good question. So Dolphin Soul asked, what's the difference between soft pastels and oil pastels? So a soft pastel, they come in different hardnesses from like your Conte sticks are really hard to like your Sennelier or your Schmincke are very soft, meaning you barely have to touch and you're going to be able to put down pastel. And those are water. You can like dissolve them with water or alcohol. And an oil pastel, exactly that, right? They're oil. So the soft pastels, it's like the water and the pigment and they dry and you just have this stick of pigment and it's like amazing. Oil pastels, you have that oil binder. So think like a oil paint and a water paint, right? That's how I think of the soft pastels. Like I can use them along with like a water soluble medium, like watercolor. I could do underpaintings in like Inktense. I could do underpaintings in watercolor. I could do, I can put these on top of like a clear gesso surface and they're going to stick. But yeah, the way that you're going to blend them is very different. Soft pastel versus oil pastel. So like I said, I do have the oil pastels. We're going to see those as well because they're supplies in the studio. I need to use them. That is one of my goals, is to just really experience and use some of these supplies, see how things kind of work together. But soft pastels, right now, I am more excited to work with soft pastels than I am with watercolor. So yeah, has a new medium replaced like watercolor as like my love? I don't know that I would say that yet, but I certainly am so excited to like dive into this more and share that with you. So yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing that process happen, I hope that you're going to stick with me on that journey. So what else? What else has happened? Oh, wait, first the Spectrafix question. So Dolphin Soul, let me see if I can find the question. Oh, excited to do wave lessons. Okay, excellent. Thank you. You asked me a question about Spectrafix. I'm trying to, okay, right there. Do you need to use like Spectrafix on the pastels, like in pan pastels? So, yeah, if you choose to use a fixative on your work, I did. Did I do that on this? Hold on. No, I haven't done it yet. See, pastel comes right off. So, yeah, this here, I have Spectrafix that I put in a fine mist sprayer. Did I bring it up? I did. I don't know if I actually brought up the bottle of Spectrafix. That might still be sitting downstairs. But I took a fine mist sprayer like this, and I put my Spectrafix in it, and I just labeled it. And so it's the Degas Spectrafix fixative. There is another fixative that I'm looking at getting because I want to also try it. And I also thought about putting some of the Spectrafix in one of these little, you guys have seen these. Some of you have them because I've sent them to you. These little tiny spritz bottles that I use. They are like, they have the best fine mist. And I thought about actually putting some in one of these to put in my bag for when I go plein air. Because I absolutely plan on doing some of this plein air. Pastels, soft pastels. I don't know about oil pastels. I haven't done the work there. But man, do these have an ugly stage. Man, does that ugly stage last a while. I was like, when I was creating this, I was like, okay, I can see the vision. I can see it. I can see how you work with soft pastels. It was something that just like, when I watched Jeannie's demo, it was like, I got it. I absolutely got it. The way that she worked with them, it was like I could see it. And now, like, this is soft pastel. Yes, we'll see. This is soft pastel right here. These were, I used some Earthberry, right? Earthberry. Okay, Lindsay. I think they were Earthberry pastels. And some Sennelier and some Schminke, especially in some of my brightest white, was a Schminke pastel because it's so soft and it just goes on the surface like, oh, wonderfully. And if you saw my little video on Instagram, you saw how I did the spray from the water, some of this spray. Yeah, again, I didn't record this for YouTube or anything. I only recorded a little tiny, actually, who was it? Karen? I think Karen grabbed my phone and recorded while I was doing that for me, so I would have a little snippet for Instagram. But yeah, this is soft pastel, and it was so much fun to do this. But there's just something about this medium. It's completely different from watercolor, but yet when I look at a reference photo, if it's a reference photo that I would want to do in soft pastels, it's like I can just see it. I can just see how I need to work that. I can see the layers, and I can see where I need to go with the layers. And so that's been very inspiring and making me want to like pick these up and do some more. So right now, everything in my studio, I film top down. When I was painting with the pastels, I was working, my board was like this, right? So it was slightly tipped slightly forward, and it was straight on, because that way there, any dust just falls off your piece and doesn't fall, it's not on your piece. You don't have to blow it across your piece. It just comes off. And so I want to be able to share that with you. But so right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to film that, how I'm going to capture that for you guys to see it and watch this process happen. The folks at Meeden, I think, are going to be helping me out with that. Again, I'll share all of that when it gets here and when I have everything set up. I have some work for Lou to do too, but we may try something top down like this, and just, I can tap it off kind of in my wastebasket and do it that way. I was also surprised. There was not as much dust. Everybody says this is so dusty and it's messy. Yes, it was messy on my hands, but it wasn't actually as dusty as I thought it would be. And this is sanded paper, and you know, it really wasn't. So I do need to take this out and fix it. I do want to fix it. I don't necessarily have to. So that was kind of Dolphin Soul's question. I don't necessarily have to fix this. I can just frame it behind glass with the spacers and put it behind glass, and that's it. I would want to leave the spacers in case any dust, any pastel dust did fall off of it, you know, as time goes on. But I don't have to. I don't have to fix it if I don't want to. So yeah, Boo Peep says, I definitely have a new crush. I do. I am like infatuated right now with the soft pastels, and I can't wait. I'm definitely heeding Lindsay's advice in that I am going to start with working with what I have. And as I'm creating pieces and I go, gosh, I just need like a green that's like this, or I just need a blue that's like that, then I can add those, right? And I can kind of grow my collection. Or if I'm like, you know what, I just don't have enough darks, I can buy a set that's just darks. I am very interested. I tried those. I'm pretty sure it's Earthberry. I'm not 100% positive. I think so. I don't know if Karen's still here either. The Earthberry pastels. I think that's what they were. I would have to double check. They're a square. They are a squared pastel. They are a pastel that's made in Russia. And I know people have mixed feelings about that, and I can respect your feelings. At the same time, this is a small family business. There's like the company that makes these pastels, I think they don't even have 10 employees. Like, this is a small family business. I don't look on that as like, I can't, you know, some people be like, I'm not going to buy this because it's made in Russia. Or I'm not going to buy this because it's made in China. Or I'm not going to buy this because it's made in the US. Yes, they were. Thank you, Karen. Earthberries. And I have no problem supporting a small family business because those people want to live and experience art and enjoy life the same exact way we do. So taking all the politics out of things. Yeah, if I get my hands on some, I will absolutely use them on the channel. So, you know, if that offends you, maybe I won't tell you what I'm using, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't have a problem using that and considering the actual source, not the country of the source. So, you know, we'll just leave that as it is, and we're not going to get any more political than that. But I don't want to say, oh yes, and I used Earthberry, and people come at me in the comments. Don't come at me, because I don't care. I don't care. They're a small family, just like you and I, that are trying to live their best life. And I am more than happy to use their beautiful pastels because they are gorgeous. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let's just move on. Exactly, Boo Peep. That is exactly. Same can be said about our own, right? So, you know, we'll just leave that. This is not a political channel by any means. This is an art channel. If you've come here for that, you're in the wrong place. So, yeah. I can't wait to show you. I've got some techniques that I think you're going to love to see, that are going to wow you. And like, I mean, look at that distant, so soft. I look at that and I'm like, I get that contrasting detail that sometimes I just feel like, and it's still soft in the distance, that I just feel like I can't get that in watercolor. And that's what pastels have done for me this summer. They've kind of brought me to a new place of growth and experimentation in my art that I want to see where this goes. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are also excited about it, that are here in the live chat today, because we're definitely going to do some more of this. I will get another, yeah, we'll see. Those are all on my list also that I would love to try. Same brands. I'd love to get a couple of the Terry Ludwigs and try them. And absolutely, I did try the Earthberries and loved them. Yeah, I need to reach out to Earthberry because they were fabulous. So anyway, if you're interested in some more waves, I want to get even closer, right? I want to get even more close up. I have so much video to process and pull out some reference photos, because the best way to get a good wave, shoot some really high def video, because then you can scrub through that video. That's how I got this. I scrubbed through that video and got the exact spot where that wave was starting to crash, where I had that barrel rolling. I had some of that spray. I had some of this spray leading off the top edge as this side is coming up. I was able to capture exactly the spot in that cycle of that wave that I wanted. So that is, I recommend some high def video if you want to capture your own wave reference photos. Because if you just stand there and you're like click, 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 click as the wave's coming, you're hoping, right? You're hoping you got it. And then you have to wait for the next set if you didn't. If you have the high def video and you can stop it and freeze frame and take that one frame out of the video, this is my reference. So I will be sharing reference photos with you if we do paintings live here. Usually I give you that reference photo to use and encourage you to paint along. And now here on the channel, in the comments, in the community area, you can actually drop a picture if you paint something along with me, or you painted along during a stream. You can actually drop a picture there and send me a message right here on YouTube, which I love that. I want to use that more. Also, let me give you guys a heads up. YouTube just announced a lot of changes that are coming. I've still been trying to kind of watch and cycle through and see how those are impacting us as creators. One of the things that's going to impact you all as viewers, live streams. Sometimes on a live stream, you will see an ad. YouTube will throw an ad in. I don't know if any of you have seen an ad during this stream, but if you have, one of the things that I don't like is that the ad cuts off, like it pops in and then the ad plays, I'm still talking, and then you rejoin me. I don't like that. I think a lot of us creators didn't like that, and YouTube listened. Soon, those ads are going to be like all of a sudden you'll be watching this screen on YouTube and boop, I'm going to shrink over here and here's the ad. So you're still going to see everything I'm doing. So you're not going to miss any of the action, especially something like where we stream and we're showing you things step by step. All of a sudden, if an ad pops in and you miss that step, that kind of stinks, right? And you're going to wait and go back for the replay so you can see it all. Because on the replay, you'll see everything. Like, you'll get the entire stream. If an ad plays, it'll pause it and then come back to it. But while it's live, you lose that little chunk. And yeah, that was not liked by many, including creators and viewers alike. So I'm really excited that change is coming. So you may, when they implement that, you may see some ads pop up. If you, hopefully you guys haven't today. Joseph says he hasn't, so hopefully you guys haven't. But yeah, so that's a change that's coming. Another thing that's coming, and it's already here. You might even have it if you're watching this and you see a hype button. Did you know you can hype a channel? What does that mean? What does it mean if you hype a channel? If you hype a channel, it's going to help it reach more people a lot better. Better than just that old thumbs up, which if you guys have been enjoying hanging out today, please hit that thumbs up button because it does still help. But that hype button works. Like if you're like, hey, I'm really liking the content I'm seeing on this art channel and more artists or more people interested in art, we'll probably like to see it too. Hype that channel. Whatever channel it is, my channel, Lindsay's channel, Karen's channel, whoever's channel that you are watching, Shanna's channel. go hype Caution Artists at Play. So it really helps. And we all appreciate you when you do stuff like that. Of course, leaving us comments and stuff, that helps as well. Let's talk about here. We still have some more time. Let's talk about surfaces, because guys, again, pastels, brand new. Okay. Brand new. I have been looking at surfaces. Now, the UArt sanded paper is what I did that wave on. I went to Fiddleheads because, you know what? Fiddleheads is our local, it's not local to me, but it is an art supply shop that is here. It's in Maine. This is in Belfast. And so every time I go to Belfast, there you go. See, she likes it. Go ahead. Go on over to Caution Artists at Play and hype that channel. If you're not seeing it, Dolphin Soul says, where's the hype button? If you're not seeing it, Dolphin Soul, I don't know. It's a feature that if you don't have it yet, it is coming. If you're not seeing it like in the live chat, it might be like, you know, when you see the video and then you see under the video and it has like the different buttons, it might be there. It might be down there, like where you would hit the thumbs up. Nobody needs the thumbs down, right? Where you hit that thumbs up, or the share. I think the hype button is going to be there. So like where you would find thumbs up, share, hype. I think that's where it's going to be found. So yeah, if you see it and you love the channel, whatever channel you're watching, hype that channel. Help them be seen by more people, especially small channels. So anyways, I went to Fiddleheads. Anytime I go to Belfast, I go into Fiddleheads and I always try to get something to support the local art shop because they are disappearing. And I think every little bit helps. So let's talk about what I got from them this summer. On one of my trips, I grabbed this one, right? Drawing and pastel paper. So Meeden. Canson. I also grabbed one of these because Fantasy Me was like, I am going to create some art while we're away. And I forgot my sand grain. And so I grabbed one of these. And yeah, I didn't end up using it, but that's okay because I supported the shop. This is what I did. This is what I did the wave on. It was the UArt 9x12 400 grade. I have mixed feelings about this paper. We'll get into that more as we start doing deeper dives on pastels. I would really like to reach out to UArt. I have a couple questions. It is a paper that is very much known for this, right? Curls like a son of a gun. Yeah, I have some Lux Archival sanded paper. So, excuse me, I'm going to definitely be trying a piece on that. The Canson XL sand grain. This is what I used. I actually have a larger pad than this, is what I used on my toucan and my Tuca. Tuca is the name of my sun conure. So this here, it doesn't actually feel like sandpaper, like your UArt or your Lux Archival, but it definitely has a strong texture to it. So yeah, I've got the gray. I also have the one that's like the beige color. Definitely looking forward to giving this a try. I picked this up when I was down there because again, Fantasy Me was like, yes, we're gonna paint and we're gonna do all kinds of things, and then I get sidetracked with what I'm seeing and I take more pictures than I do painting. But look at all the different colors that are in this pad. So again, I haven't used pastel on this yet. And it's double-sided. So the one side definitely has more texture and the other side is smooth. If I wasn't worried about getting these papers and say not loving them for pastel, because if that's the case, I have every intention of just getting a bottle of the Liquitex clear gesso. It has to be clear gesso. The white gesso doesn't have the texture in it that the clear has. So yeah, and it has to be Liquitex specifically. So the Liquitex clear gesso, then I would just gesso some pages and prepare them and still use them. So this is definitely, and there's lots of other stuff I could use on this paper. I also have, oops, that's Meeden paper. Meeden doesn't really have a pastel paper at this time. So here's what I was talking about, the Lux Archival, right? This right here by Aliona Nicholson. This is sanded art paper. It is supposed to be archival, acid-free. So that, and this is like 8x10 size. You can get this in a roll, and you can get the U-Art in a roll. The U-Art comes in multiple, you can get it in different grains, like 400, 500. I think it's got like a 250. The higher the number, the smoother the paper. The lower the number, the more grit and grab it has. So I also have some pastel matte. See, I have been like, I want to explore these things. So yeah, this is definitely a completely different feeling from any of the other papers. I'm really looking forward to trying these things. I picked these up this summer. I've already shown you when I got these, because I actually got these at Lindsay's sister's art shop down in China, Maine in the spring. But I picked up 2 pastel boards, and so these are, it's ampersand, right? Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to giving that a try. And this is already, right, it's already a nice hard board to work on. I don't have to mount my paper on anything. So that's going to be nice. I'm also trying to decide what I want to mount the papers on when I work on them. Am I just going to tape it to a hard board, like a drawing board, or what? I also have some of this, which is the Fabriano clay. And this one says, ideal for dry techniques. Look at this. I haven't even opened it to tell you what this feels like. This is one, I think I got this, I got it a long time ago. Yeah, the surface feels kind of smooth. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be. Have any of you worked on this? And if any of you work in pastels, please, if you're seeing something here, you're like, oh, that's my favorite paper, or I absolutely didn't like that paper, you know, drop it in the comments. Let me know, because I'm really curious to see what people do or do not like. And then I also, right, again, the Meetons pastel. So I have this one as also. This is a 12x16. So yeah, I have every desire to do a piece this large. But again, it feels just like the other one, more texture on one side than it does on the other. And yes, it has different colors. I'm sorry, that's not focusing, but it has different colors to work on. I've got my pan pastels there. So those are some of the surfaces that I have I went looking in my studio, like, do I have surfaces for pastel? And yeah, a lot of these I already had. And I think I bought them when I got my pan pastels. And then I just, you know, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I cannot wait to do this again. I picked up those soft pastels, which again, I thought was like, I'm not gonna like these. I went into this like, I'm not gonna like those. And then I tried them and I absolutely love them. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to more of that. I also picked these up while I was this summer. These are the 6 metallic colors for the pan pastels. And that's a cover of a Splendor. I'm pretty sure I had that one. But I also got I'm leaning over my mic. I'm sorry if that's getting loud. I thought I had them in here because I was pretty sure I took them to Lindsay's house. I have like a bag right now with all my, yeah, right there. These here. And this set is the 5 mediums. And so it has, again, it has another colorless blender. It has the pearl medium, the fine, and the coarse. And then it has the pearl medium white, fine and coarse, and the pearl medium black, fine and coarse. So it has that. I have some ideas. I have some ideas of what I want to share with you. I have a little tiny piece of Fisher 400. Can you even buy Fisher 400s anymore still? I think this was like an old sample I got like forever ago. That was, yeah, I tried something on there, but I don't think that the paper, it still has plenty of texture. I don't think that's ruined by any means. I could still use that as a small piece. So yeah. Oh, I also picked these up. I have got a lot of stuff to show you guys. We can have a, I will do a separate haul video with things that I haven't shown you already, that I got like over the course of the summer. I have a couple things still that are going to be coming in, but I picked this up when I went Soho. So if any of you guys know, and this is another thing I did on my summer, I went to my first art store in person. I was so excited. So this here, the Soho Urban Artist Willow Charcoal, I think this was like on a clearance. I think I picked this up for like $5. It is some willow charcoal, and I wanted that. When I did my wave painting, this is what I used to kind of mark in where stuff was going to be. And the reason I use this is because there's no pigment in it, right? So there's no pigment in it that's going to interfere with the other pastels that I was putting on top of it once I started painting. And so I grabbed some willow charcoal for that. Oh, let's see. The hype button from the mobile app went to one of the videos. It's in line with the like, share, etc. under the video. That's what I thought it would be. And it was a regular video that you saw that on next to the super thanks button. Well, there you go. So yeah, the hype button. And you're going to start seeing it appearing on channels, and I encourage you to use it. So I went to my first in-person, like, big art store. I'm not talking Michael's, right? Or Hobby Lobby. I don't consider those big art stores. I consider those big craft stores, where they sell a lot of craft supplies. That kind of sounds like crap, doesn't it? It's like crap and craft. They sound similar. Anyways, I digress. Michael's, Hobby Lobby. No, I'm not talking about stores like that. I'm talking about like Jerry's Artorama, Blick. I was going to go to a Blick, but I was like, I told Lou, I was like, if I can only go to one, I'm going to go to Jerry's, because I don't often shop at Jerry's online, because I do prominently most of my shopping at Blick online. So I went to Jerry's in person, and I got my willow charcoal, and I got this fixative, which is Sennelier, for soft pastels. I do have the fixative by Sennelier that's for oil pastels. So, you know, we'll get into the differences there when we do those kind of videos. So I got that, and I got that. And then I can hear Tara at her house going, and then oh my goodness. And then I got these. Again, soft pastels. Guys, that's what I'm excited about right now. So I hope you can get excited about that. But look at these. They're so shimmery. the metallics. Again, the whole going back to like getting these in metallics. I got these first, and then these. I'm looking for some iridescent pastels. There are a few colors I want. I'm pretty sure Terry Ludwig makes some. Sennelier has a set. That's the set I think I'm going to go with. So I am going to be adding that to my Blit cart. I think they're already in there. I just have to finish and check out. But yeah, I want some iridescent pastels. Again, I have plans. I have plans. It's going to come into play with some of my ocean scenes. And so I'm hoping that I can do them some justice. So I went all through Jerry's, and the girls, I was like, wait till you see what I got. I messaged our group chat. I was like, wait till you see what I got. And I was like, you're not going to believe it. And then I sent them a picture, and it was this. That was it. That was all I got at Jerry's. And I was like, they didn't have what I was looking for in the store. I was so bummed. I talked to some wonderful people there. They were thrilled. The few of them that were there, we were talking, they had the Schminke boxes. And so I was telling them how I converted my Schminke box to a little mini pochade box. And they were dying to see it. So I brought it in. And, well, see, this has been in the heat. That rubber band was sticking. And I shared with them my little pochade box that I love to use when I travel plein air. They couldn't believe it. They loved that. And yeah, so for anybody who hasn't actually seen it, that is my little pochade box that I've made. I use this all the time when we go out. And yeah, I go, that's right. I went into Jerry's, I come out with 3 products, and they were like, you're kidding, right? They thought I was like joking when I posted, like I was going to then show them like this big bag full of stuff. And I was like, nope, that was it. I wanted the iridescent set from Sennelier. They didn't have it. I did want this fixative, which they had. This was like a little extra. And then I saw the little Soho metallics, and I was like, great. But the things that I wanted, they didn't have. And I was like, I can't just buy things for the sake of buying them, because it's so easy to get carried away. It was like a little kid with all the candy and the things and looking at the stuff. And I was like, no, I have to save my money so I can spend it on the things that I really, really, really want right now, because I've been so excited about the soft pastels and wanting to expand, that stuff. So yes, I went to my first Jerry's. I did get some video. I haven't clipped that together, so I'll have to share that. But spoiler alert, you now know what I got at Jerry's. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's when they were like, what? You only got 3 things. So I didn't clip that video together yet to be able to share it, because it's been so busy, and I need to spend this weekend. My goal is to get this studio reorganized and clean and ready to go, so that we can really come back and have so much fun. There's so many things that I want to paint. Let's talk about another one of those. We never got to this. I am still planning on putting a painting on August, so I will be sharing that with you. I think I'll probably paint it, record it, and just release it as a regular video. So yeah, that shit was like, I wanted to live through you. And I was just like, yeah, I got 3 things. Yeah. And then of course we have September. We are in September. We got to get that done. And then October. So I have ideas for what I want to paint on these. We will do, I don't know if we will do September, October live, or if I will just record them and put them out, so that if you have been following along with the calendar and working on creating a calendar, you will still have all the months. I am not stopping halfway through. So yeah, those are coming. Never fear. Those are coming. And I mean, look at where we are so far. Look at these. There's all of our paintings we've done so far. January. And these would be great. Like, you could just paint your own. Paint your own and create a calendar for next year. March is my least favorite. I'm like, if I could go back and repaint any month, I would go back and repaint March. But April, I loved. May, very springy. June, okay, see, look, watercolor. Trying to capture the ocean in watercolor. Capturing the ocean in pastels. Like, it just worked. It just clicked. I'm like really thrilled about that. But I can say that having done that, there are ways I would approach watercolor with doing it watercolor differently. So I really appreciate that. But there was June. And of course, July, we had the fireworks. And then things got ridiculously crazy around here. And so August and September, you don't have yet. But we will get those done. So if you've been following along, they are coming. We will have a calendar that we can finish, and that you will be able to paint for, you know, if you wanted to paint a calendar for like gifts for, say, next year. We've already talked about how you can easily, you know, make your own for any year. All right. Well, I'm sure there's all kinds of other things that I would love to have shared with you that I'm not even remembering, that I'll remember like a few moments after we get off here. But what did you guys think about the new Meeden brushes? I'm excited to use these. So that is definitely going to be coming. Again, you can get a discount. I do have these linked in the description. Code Clark10 will get you a discount on these brushes. Oh, I didn't even mention. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention before. So this big old set, I said, you know, the sizes that I might divide them and put some down and some up, because like some of these are similar in size, where I could put one downstairs and have some upstairs. If you're looking at these going, yeah, there's a lot of sizes that are kind of similar. And, you know, I would probably use that size and maybe, well, maybe that size. Those are, see, those are close, but that's the 5 and that's the 4. So that makes sense. But maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I really think I would only use those. Or maybe you think you'd only use those. You can buy these individually. You don't have to buy the whole set of 9. I can't believe that I forgot to come back to that when I can. My mind was just all over the place. You don't have to buy these as a set of 9. You can get just one brush in whatever size you want. So you could order just 3, or you can get the whole set. So definitely, I definitely recommend, if you missed that, you can go back and see them on the replay. But these, that was one of the things that I really liked when I saw this, and had a conversation with Meeden about sharing these with you guys. I was like, yes, I absolutely want to give them a try. And the fact that you didn't have to get all of these, where there's a bunch that are similar size, you can buy them separately. So you can get just the ones that interest you. Let me see, I'm just going to put a piece of paper down here, because, you know, with that black, it's easier to see them. But look at that. Synthetic. They're a faux squirrel. And yeah, they very much responded the way that, in my first impression, they very much responded like my Princeton Neptune does. I need to paint with these for a little bit and definitely have, you know, firm up my opinion on them, but I will be. So you'll probably see me using these as I paint the rest of the calendar pages, because I'm going to stick with watercolor for those calendar pages. So the whole thing is done like that. I mean, I know I don't have to, but that's what I think I want to do. So there you go. And Joseph says, I'm intrigued. I would use none of them. They're all gigantic. They're not all gigantic. Look at these. Look at that little tiny baby brush, Joseph. It's just an itty bitty little thing. Yeah. These are a little bigger, but look at those points. You saw a size 7, right? It does little lines, it does fine lines, and that was the 7. So yeah, definitely. As of right now, my first impression, definitely recommend. That is definitely, I'm thrilled to have these. So huge thank you to Meeden for sharing them with me, and a happy birthday to Meeden. It is their 10th, or happy anniversary to Meeden. Yeah, maybe happy anniversary. It is their 10th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. I think they just keep getting better with some of the products that they have been coming out with, get better and better. So I am thrilled to have those. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and stopping in. It was so nice to see everybody. Next week, we're going to paint. I should be back now. And barring no unforeseen circumstances, we should be back to creating on a regular basis. I am hoping that I can do some stuff this weekend and maybe get like August done and get that video out to you soon. So yeah. And I'm going to figure out how I can work with the pastels and be able to share that with you, so you can see that happen in real time, where maybe I'm not recording top down and at it. So thank you so much, Caution Artist at Play. Thank you everyone for being here and hanging out. I had a great time. I enjoyed catching up. Drop me a comment and let me know. What do you think about pastels? Are you excited to see some pastel stuff coming in? Recently tried the Meeden Pastel Watercolor Palette. I love the colors. Awesome. That is excellent. They have a new one. I just reached out to my contact this morning and I was like, hey, I just saw this new watercolor palette that you have. I'm curious and I need to know more. So we'll see what happens with that too. So I don't know. I don't know. But anyhow, I love being back too. I'm thrilled to get back to work. I've missed you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me. And next week we will paint. What are we painting? I'm not sure yet, but hopefully we will have some fun and some laughs doing it. But until next time, my friends, thank you so much. Hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, I hope you will, and join me on the adventures to come. Until next time, bye guys.